Spot time.
We're back.
Hey.
Where did we go?
Nowhere. We're here. I just sit here all the time waiting for the record button to come
Has
up.
it been 2 weeks yet?
Yeah.
Owen's been sitting there for 2 weeks.
Tony's wife has been asking, why is Owen here?
Why don't I just sit there waiting for the record button to come on?
Got nothing better to do.
Yep.
Speaking of having nothing better to do, follow this guy on Twitter.
Hey, Technoan. At Technoan. Sorry.
Oh, good thing you said at.
Yeah. I don't know.
That really confused me.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Twitter. I tweet things sometimes.
Owen.
He's getting more frequent at it.
Owen.
Technoan.
He's a pro.
Yeah.
And if you get bored of Owen's tweets, check out this guy's tweets.
Jaron. At Jaron. Jarron. That's how you spell my name.
Hi, Jaron.
Hi.
Hi, Owen.
Hey.
I'm Tony. If you get bored of those two tweets, check out my tweets at Quad T Tony. I'm Tony.
Actually, you should probably start with Tony's. His is the most interesting.
Well, that's just because I tweet the most out of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got another lady to please.
It's true. When I got to put up my tweets for the Geek Show, my other podcast that I represent and stuff. It's a good little podcast. It's a little bit on the salty side, so be prepared for that if you want to download the Geek Show podcast and give it a listen on iTunes.
I love salty.
Not us, though. We're boring, old, vanilla, safe for work.
But we got email.
Oh, we got email.
I'm excited about this.
First time ever.
Yeah.
So 2 people have emailed us, and we even got a review on iTunes, which is also amazing.
Yes. We're moving up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ghostbuster Bob, and the 2 people that we will mention pretty soon for the emails. The first one is from a person named Jacob.
Hello, Jacob.
Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Jake. I don't know if you prefer Jake or Jacob. I know Jake's. Okay.
Let's go with Jacob.
Okay.
So he says, hey, hello, guys. I'm enjoying the show. Keep it up. Totally random question number 1. What is your favorite presidential assassination?
That's kind of a...
So this turned weird really fast.
But you know what? We're going to answer the question anyway, because that's who we are. We're cool like that.
That's what we do.
My favorite presidential assassination is the assassination of President Alma Coin from the Hunger Games. When Katniss shot her in the face with an arrow.
Right in the face.
Or maybe it was in the heart.
Oh, I still haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
Well, she dies. President of District 13,
Spoiler,
Alma Coin,
there.
assassinated. Boom!
All right.
That's my favorite.
My favorite comes from one of my favorite shows ever, Futurama.
Great show.
Yeah. President McNeil, one of the first presidents in the show, well, the first president in the show, plant aliens from the planet Omicron Persei 8 were watching this 1,000-year-old soap opera called Single Female Lawyer. And the last episode got cut off short, so they invaded Earth, demanded McNeil, and McNeil was the president. And when they saw McNeil, they're like, this isn't McNeil. McNeil's a single female lawyer. Then they shot him dead right there on the spot.
Those Omicron Persei 8
Lurr.
people
From the planet Omicron Persei 8.
They're crazy. Them and their human horns. Owen, what do you got?
You know, I don't have a presidential assassination favorite.
Huh.
Not yet. I mean, maybe if a certain person who will not be named, but he's crazy with a bad hairdo gets elected.
Whoa!
No, just kidding. I'm not saying I would ever do that. Or
the NSA is
do
listening to this already, and after they hear that, they are for sure listening to this.
I have no political affiliation. Just so we're
That's a pretty rough thing to say about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
I don't like her, okay?
Well, or is you talking about Bernie Sanders? Because his hair's weird, too.
That's why it could be.
It's a bad hair year for the presidential election.
That's why I make like that.
You talking about Donald Trump because he's got weird hair, too.
You don't know.
You know that fantastic hair? Mitt Romney.
He did have good hair.
He had dreamy hair.
Like a Ken doll.
Yeah.
It even looked kind of like a Ken doll. Like
an old Ken doll.
He used a lot of product, but he used it well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't really have a cool assassination. I do like the story behind the Lincoln assassination, as in like
John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, like the subterfuge and all the craziness behind it. But
I don't know. The JFK assassination has produced a good television show on Hulu.
What show is that?
11/22/63.
Based off the Stephen King's idea with J.J. Abrams.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I got to check that out too. I was excited for it.
That was a mouthful. What was that? 11.
11/22/63.
It's the day Kennedy was assassinated.
I'm getting it now.
Yeah. I got to check that out. It looks really good. I like Stephen King, though, and
Me
J.J.
too.
Abrams. So,
Great storyteller, that guy.
indeed.
Well, we're drifting into Geek Show territory here. We better move on.
We could drift wherever we want, but we're all about the tech and the games and the gadgets here on the Gadget Spot. So let's start this off with...
Hey, we got one more email.
The second email.
Yeah.
You didn't let me finish.
Oh, I should have trusted you. So the second email is from a person named Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
I say person because I don't know if you're a man or a woman.
How's it spelled?
Aaron.
What?
A-A.
Okay, there we go.
Well, it's definitely a man.
Aaron. All right.
All right. He says, I've seen a few really cool things with new 360 video recording on YouTube. Things like live action Where's Waldo. What are your thoughts on the topic, a revolution or 2-month day fad? The end.
The end. So I got to play a little bit, see one of these cameras the other day at the Geek Show recording that we were at. Excitable James, our videographer, brought one, and it's pretty cool. It's small. It's like a oversized golf ball, and on the top it just has this clear dome with one lens that records in 360 degrees.
Oh, like the Google van that drives around, right?
Yeah, but the Google van has multiple cameras,
Right.
because it has a higher field of vision, I think. But anyway, it was pretty cool. Like, he showed us how he could stream it right to his cell phone, and then he just turns his cell phone, like holds it up like he's looking through a window, and then moves the cell phone, and it pans the shot across the field of view.
Not gonna lie, when I saw the Blue Angels video of that on YouTube, it kind of blew my mind a little
It's
bit.
pretty crazy.
It blew my mind.
So it's one of those things. I think it's definitely very niche.
It's destined for YouTube, not shows, movie theaters,
Oh,
Well,
anything like that.
unless we get stuff like that in virtual reality.
True,
format.
VR. Yeah, VR would change that for sure.
Because if we could get stuff like that in a VR format, then it'd work really good. But so I would say in my opinion is it's definitely niche, but I don't think it's a fad. I think it's going to stick around for quite a while, especially if VR takes off. If VR takes off, like all these companies making the VR helmets think it will. I mean, look how many you got on the market right now. You got Oculus, or at least coming out soon. You got Oculus. You got HTC Vive that they teamed up with Steam. And then you got
Samsung, Sony.
Samsung has one. Sony has one. And there's one that I can't remember. OSVR, open source virtual reality, that Razer's backing. And then there's one more too that was. This one's less far along than the other ones, but it's pretty neat because it has a super wide field of view. I think it's like 170 degree field of view, or 140, something like that. Really wide field of view. And it's being backed by Starbreeze Studios, who does makes some video games.
If I had to choose a loser of
pretty good
those,
video games.
it would most definitely be the OSVR one.
Yeah. Well, see, and the problem with that one is they're going for open source, and so I don't know. It's one of those things where you're looking at, it's like, it'll probably
source development, right?
Yeah, it'll probably be cool, but it just probably won't catch on because it doesn't have a very rigorous set of standards, or
it'll be really uniquely cool.
Yeah,
if some developer takes it and does something crazy with it,
which
will then be bought.
Which is the problem.
And then moved on
when you have open source stuff, because they just kind of, whoever makes it just throws it out there and says, make something cool out of it, and it doesn't have like what am I saying? Thinking of a direction.
Yeah.
One prime force pushing it along.
That coding life cycle, the production life cycle doesn't really go through the same way.
Yeah. Switch. Speaking of VR, did you see that PlayStation has already announced that theirs isn't going to be as good as Oculus and HTC?
But they also said it would be cheaper.
They did say it'd be cheaper, so hopefully it's cheap enough that it makes a difference.
Yeah, I think that will definitely be more mainstream, given the price and compatibility with PlayStation 4.
Yeah, because that's the thing with the PS4, you pay your $400 or $350 if you find it on sale. And then you buy the headset and you're good to go for, they don't have a price on that, but I'm betting you could probably get both for around $700 or $800.
Yeah. And when I say mainstream, I still don't think it will sell terribly well.
Probably not. But then if you wanted to get like HTC Vive or Vive or...
Let's call it Vive.
Vive, okay. Or Oculus Rift,
Let's call it Rift.
That's a $500 to $700 purchase, not including the PC gaming rig that you got to build. That's going to cost around $1,000 to have the horsepower to run that thing. So maybe the barrier of entry being that much lower on PS4 might help it spawn sales.
VR scares me, though. I'm afraid if I try it, I will never put it down, and I will become a husk.
Become a husk?
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing inside, just doing VR all the time.
This goes back to what we talked about, I think, on our first episode. You got to check out the book, Ready Player One. You got to check that book out if you're at all interested in VR.
That's the second recommendation to me in the last few days.
It's really neat, and it's being made into a movie by Steven Spielberg.
Sweet.
So I would say don't wait for the movie, see the book, read the book, and then see the movie. Because it's really good.
Ready Player One.
Yep. That's the one. So here we have a couple of things that we're going to talk about. It's going to be pretty cool. Jaron, tell us about this 3D TVs without glasses, because that sounds like black magic to me.
So this is something that's been out for a few weeks, actually. I've been wanting to talk about it for a while. This comes from Ars Technica. Anyway, so there's this company. It's a really weird generic name. Stream TV Networks.
Oh, I was going to say like couch.
not as generic as couch.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, this company you've never heard of before, so that should raise some warning bells there. They have this new TV technology. They call it Ultra D technology.
Ultra D? I got the Ultra D.
They're going to give us the Ultra D.
Yeah.
Did they not think this is worse than like naming something the Gadget Spot? I mean, that's terrible.
They just need one person to speak English in that company.
Ultra D.
Are you done yet?
No, I'm not. But keep going. Keep going.
All right. So anyway, this Ultra D, very very large technology here.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, yes. Anyway, it's 3D TV technology without the use of stereoscopic glasses, and it doesn't have specific zones that you have to be in to see the 3D. So you know how
there's no sweet spot, is what
yeah, there's no sweet spot. So typical glasses-free 3D tech, there's like a few sweet spots, maybe 5 or 6 different zones. If you have a TV like that, which
you want to see
really exist.
A really good example of that, check out a 3DS.
Exactly.
You have to have it placed in the perfect spot in front of your eyes for it to work real well. Now the new 3DS has eye tracking. John's just learning how to drink water. It has that infrared eye tracking, so it actually changes the effect. So it doesn't have the sweet spot's a lot bigger on the new 3DS. But that's a perfect example of if you go off the axis too far, the 3D effect goes away. You all right there, Jared? He looks like he's dying.
I'm back. I'm back.
That was worth it, though. I mean,
oh man, we might. I do wish sometimes we were having this filmed for things like that, because Jared turned into a fish.
I was drowning.
His mouth open.
Do not drink water and talk at the same time. I don't even remember what we're talking about. Ultra D?
Ultra D.
Yeah, we're talking about...
All right, so sweet spots. The
sweet
TV.
Spots in the Ultra D.
There's just not a single...
Your mother listens to this, Tony.
No, she doesn't.
We are called the G-Spot podcast after all.
I know. And now we're talking about Ultra D.
So anyway, there is not a single sweet spot that... Oh boy, we can't get through this segment, can we?
Keep going.
So there's a 140-degree viewing angle to get this 3D effect.
Okay, that's big.
It's
How do they
huge.
do that without glasses?
I don't know.
That's what the technology is all about here on the Gadget Spot.
So anyway, children, aged children.
Okay.
Yes. Ultra D.
Is that where that ends?
No! All right. 140-degree viewing angle. Apparently, the 3D effect isn't as deep as other 3D TVs.
Ultra D doesn't go as deep as other TVs.
Oh my gosh! I'm not even trying to do this.
He's trying to. It's almost too much to take.
It doesn't go as deep.
It's not as robust as another type of. Well,
all right, the Ultra D technology is more subtle.
Break down the for 5 minutes. We're gonna have to apologize to our listeners for this one.
We'll never work our way back from this. Anyway, so apparently it can upconvert from 2D to 3D, and it does a really good job of it.
Okay, so
it'll sample the picture. It'll like detect edges and do all this sorts of cool stuff. And
in real time.
In real time. Well, there's a 30 millisecond lag.
Okay, well, as long as they keep the audio synced to it, that's not bad.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, it'll sample the 2D picture, turn it into 3D, and actually it works really well, supposedly. Supposedly. But that wouldn't work too well with games. Right. However, they are rolling out an API that any developer can use, and all a game has to do is pass along depth information. So they don't have to pass two different pictures, like within VR or 3D stuff. They just have to pass along depth information, and it'll turn a normal game into a 3D game.
Happens, so from what it says on the site here that you have, it actually happens at the glass. The glass acts as a lens that bends the light.
So you're going to have to get it's a special TV set? It's
going to be shipped from this.
Yeah, and they say it'll come out in like 55-inch and 65-inch televisions later this year. But we'll see if that.
I can't.
We'll see if that happens. But apparently the glass diffuses the light in multiple different directions, and so that's how they do it. I can't explain it.
Going back to the part about the API for game developing, that could be interesting because if it doesn't require two images to be rendered simultaneously, if it can pull that information from a different way, it sounds to me like theoretically you could end up using a lot less resources to make a 3D game.
Yeah, definitely. They say like the resources are minimal because they're just passing along depth information.
That is neat.
And the writer of this article, he says it's great picture. It's really crisp, unlike most 3D TVs.
They're going to support 4K? Does it say?
Yes.
You don't know?
Yes. No, it does say.
Okay, cool.
But hopefully it'll come to market, and hopefully people will buy it. So
it actually gets a market share and can sustain itself.
Yeah, it looks like really, really cool technology. So it may be the technology that gets 3D TV off the ground, which has never happened.
It's been a pain in the arse up until now. I don't like wearing glasses. I wear glasses.
I know.
So I don't like wearing glasses when I'm watching TV.
Yep.
Special weird ones.
That's why you need the Ultra D.
You need the Ultra D to satisfy the market.
Your 3D cravings.
Indeed. Okay. Okay.
Now Tony's turn to cough it up.
I'm done. I'm done being immature. No, I'm not.
That's so funny that you said that.
Okay. Owen, tell us about this revelation that you told me about earlier today from Microsoft.
Oh,
holy cow.
Right.
Now this is really cool. I'm excited for this.
So Microsoft has kind of thrown down the gauntlet, so to speak, for cross-platform gaming. They put out a challenge. Look, they've thrown down the gauntlet. It's a phrase, man.
All right. So I'll go with it.
So they basically announced that they're going to start developing games and allow other systems to be developed for their systems for cross-platform playing. I mean, have you ever gotten Call of Duty and you're like, hey, you want to play some Call of Duty? Well, we can play some live Call of Duty. And you're like, oh, you got it for the PS4?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Aww.
I've got the Xbox One.
Aw.
Yeah. Sorry. We'll have to just hate each other now.
Dang it.
Yeah. I mean, Call of Duty and like other first-person shooters, like bridging gaps, making bridges Anyways,
Connecting people.
Connecting people.
Yeah,
Family.
because people don't fight or anything when they play Call of Duty. They always come together in a nice, civil way.
Yeah, totally. I mean, especially if you're camping or something else that's super annoying.
Or if you're a 13-year-old boy with a foul mouth.
Yeah, there's that too. But anyway, yeah. So Microsoft has said that they are going to start releasing games and allowing for other systems to play cross-platform, so that if you have a PS game and you want to play the play with an Xbox player, you can fire it up and go.
What's the first game they're doing it with?
I read that on here.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a great game.
Car soccer.
It's fun. Have you played it?
It's fun, yeah.
It's a great game.
Car soccer.
And so Microsoft basically said, we're doing this, and anybody else who wants to can do it too. And wink, wink.
So
nudge, nudge to PlayStation.
Sony hasn't committed to anything.
They have not committed to anything, but Microsoft has pretty much said,
well,
we dare you to.
They just announced it today.
Yeah.
They did. So in a perfect world, we'll get our Ultra D and be able to play with each other.
Yeah, exactly right. Who's the immature one now, huh, Jaron?
I'm not
he
even
had to bring it back, didn't he? He had to do that. He knows you have no defense against that, and he had to do that.
So
So
this is really interesting because this has been like the holy grail of multiplayer.
Yeah, right from the beginning,
since Xbox Live and PlayStation Network came online, was to play against your buddies who have other systems, and so Microsoft is pushing it first. I read with PC, Xbox.
Yeah,
and
which we kind of talked about.
They've been pushing that for
a
little bit. But they only really announced that like recently, within the last few months.
I thought that's what this was about.
Yeah, so did I.
Cross-platform to PC to Windows 10 to
Xbox One.
Yeah,
but this is PS4 as well. And so let me share a theory I have with this. I have a theory that Microsoft decided to do this because I think this will force game developers to create more visual parity between games that are going to be cross-platform. So if you want your game to work on an Xbox One versus a PS4, they have to be identical.
So maybe to level the
graphical playing field,
the hardware playing field.
Well, I mean, people on PC, one person might have a great gaming computer, the other person wouldn't. The person with a great gaming computer would have much better graphics, but they'd still be able to play against each other.
Man, you really just took the wind out of my sails, Jaron.
Yeah.
Because that's a good point that I had not considered. I'm always looking for the underhanded reason why a company's doing something, though, so dang it!
Well, it'd be really cool if
I'm super
Sony got
on
board with this.
This article and this idea is more for system to system versus PlayStation to from system to PC. There's other complaints in the article too. They're like how do they overcome some of the other PC advantages like hardware acceleration and also like super sensitive mouse control. Like that was a big thing in earlier games. And
in the article I read about it, it was you're going to have an option to only play with Xbox people if you want, or open it up to other platforms when you go into the multiplayer lobbies.
This would be great for older games, though, like older multiplayer games where a lot of people have stopped playing. This will increase the amount of people that could play by like 2 times. So
who pays for the servers? I mean, that's a toss-up.
So that it used to be, excuse me. It used to be that the servers were mostly maintained by the game developers.
Right.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they kept maintaining their dedicated servers, but there are quite a few console games that rely on peer-to-peer and actually just uses the resources of the connected devices to run their stuff. And then there's also Microsoft's huge computational platform, Azure, that might be the ones that take care of all the computation there. It wouldn't surprise me too much if Microsoft was like, sure, we'll supply the servers that you need for that to work. So
for a price.
You never know. Yeah, for a price, exactly.
That's where they're trying to move into.
I think they still have to work through a lot of stuff though, because like how would Xbox know what the PlayStation Network users, what their usernames are and information about them.
There's definitely a lot of back end
they'd have to
stuff
work
that
out
needs
quite a bit.
Sharing.
Yeah.
Microsoft loves to share.
They should love sharing their information.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's Sony likes to share it, even with people that don't want it.
Yeah, they give it away.
Oh, no, they do want it.
They give it away.
They hack it right out of there. Remember that?
I remember that. I got the email.
Yeah.
I was part of that.
I was too.
I mean,
I got free stuff.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
That was good. That was a good part, the free stuff. So I'm excited for that, though. I think that has the potential to be very cool. The other
revolutionary. I mean, that's like a major complaint since.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The split of consoles and stuff.
And the really big, interesting thing that's going to be able to do as well is the only reason you'll have now to purchase a different console is exclusives.
Right.
Right.
Unfortunately for me.
Or better graphical power, like the PS4 has over the Xbox One.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. Especially if you're trying to, really, like I said, it's going to have to level, like Tony was saying, it's going to have to level the graphical.
Well,
and maybe you can set levels. Maybe, who knows how it's going to go. Maybe you'll set levels. And
there's an option for a
PS4, so it's automatically going to drop down to the lowest common denominator.
It's like, Xbox graphics this time. Oh, no Xboxes. Oh. We'll put it up to PS4 graphics this time.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. But
exciting, though.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. So, check this out. Speaking of games, new Fallout 4 DLC.
I thought you weren't excited about Fallout 4.
No, I like Fallout 4. I just think there's some serious issues with its storytelling capabilities. And
one loves his kids more than you like Fallout 4.
He does.
I'm at a 10 for 10. We don't have to bring this up anymore.
Exactly. That's why I said that.
That's what he's saying.
Oh.
I only love Fallout.
I'm agreeing with you.
Essentially, I love my kids more than anything, unless you're going to give everything a 10 for 10. So.
Nope. I gave Fallout a 7.5, I think.
Yeah. I definitely love my kids more than you like that game.
Oh, that's good. But this new DLC coming out for it really soon. I think it comes out on the 22nd of this month. It's going to be based around building robots.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like robots.
So you'll be able to build your own robot companion in this DLC and have it run around with you and, shoot stuff and whatever. It's called Automatron, the DLC. Isn't that a cool name?
That is a cool name. I like it.
I just like robots. I might play this game now.
It's going to launch on PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on the 22nd of March. So watch out for that new villain, the Mechanist.
Speaking of games, the Uncharted 4 beta came out a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. I got things to say about that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
So
I do.
I played a little bit of the multiplayer. That was the only thing that was showcased in the beta. But it seems like they're kind of wanting people to consider it as their multiplayer game now.
Huh?
I mean, they're kind of advertising it, They've never really had a beta for a multiplayer before. But anyway, seems like they beefed it up compared to previous versions of Uncharted, and it was pretty fun. I played it for about a half hour.
Oh. That's it? All weekend, only half hour?
That's all the time I had. That's why I can't play games like Fallout.
Good point.
Same.
So I went to
Get children, you'll understand.
Yeah, apparently. We'll worry about that later.
Another topic for another day.
It's another topic for another day.
That's when we'll really talk about the G Spot podcast.
And the Ultra D televisions. So I went to play that. I was like, cool. It's Saturday morning. I'm going to download this and give it a shot. So I used my PSN app on my phone. Click, click, click. Oh, yeah, download that to my PS4. Hey, that's neat. So I got done doing all the things I had to do over the weekend, playing other games that I like more. And Sunday night rolls around. It's like 8 o'clock. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go try out that Uncharted beta because I told my PS4 to download it yesterday. So I'm just going to go, boot it up and play.
Should be good.
Guess what didn't download? The Uncharted beta.
So you don't know how to work your PS4 then?
What'd you get then?
I got nothing.
Oh, I thought maybe it switched it out.
No, I got nothing. It said error. So I went in, I told it to download, and I thought, well, hopefully it'll download quick and I'll be able to play it a little bit before I go to bed. No.
How big is it?
It's like a 27 gig download.
No, it was a 7 gig download, I thought.
I think it was more than that.
It was between 7 and 27 gigs.
It was. I will agree there. But then I'm like, okay, well, I could probably... My internet connection is pretty good. And so I'm like, oh, but I can get that in an hour or so and then play it some before bed. No. PlayStation Network servers downloaded at about 200 kilobytes a second.
Ew, that's an all day.
Well,
So it was a 9-hour estimated wait. I let it go for 2 hours and it was still at 7 hours.
well, at least their estimation time was correct.
Okay.
That never happens.
Good for you, Sony. Way to estimate your slow server speeds correctly.
But I actually played the game. The graphics I thought were amazing.
So they're doing
Whatever Naughty Dog does, they're just
they got
wizards.
They got their magics. I will say this that was interesting. I do like to see when a company will lower the graphical fidelity to achieve 60 frames per second, because they did that in the multiplayer. They went from a locked 1080p to 30 frames per second on the single player to a 900p resolution with almost solid 60 frames per second from what I read.
Yeah, there was a few slowdowns here and there, but it's a beta. But yeah, it largely achieved the 60 frames per second. And it was a good time. After half hour, I kind of got bored of it, which is a really hard thing for me to say because I love Uncharted.
You love Uncharted more than your kid.
I can't comment on that.
And you cannot.
But I love Uncharted more than my dog.
I wish I would have said that earlier.
Let's just say this. If I were single and I could marry a video game, I would have done that with Uncharted. But I'm no longer single, so...
Oh, I was going to say, so you love it more than your wife.
No, I don't. I'm a human being.
Oh.
I love humans more than gadgets and video games.
Well...
What are you doing here?
I thought you might be on the wrong podcast.
But, yeah, it was okay. They have, like, different loadouts for different characters, and it was a kind of a more strategic third person.
The videos I watched of it for people playing it on YouTube, it showed that being third person, you could do a little more effective sneaking and creeping and strategic actions, like you said. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I want to try that. I mean, I joke about knocking on Uncharted, but I love that game series too. I'm definitely going to get the fourth one on PS4. I mean,
oh yes.
Especially since they got the guys that wrote The Last of Us to basically take over halfway through and finish writing it and make it awesome.
Naughty Dog makes amazing games.
The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. That game is just freaking phenomenal. If you have a PS4 and you haven't played The Last of Us, go get that game.
If you don't have a PS4 and haven't played Last of Us, go get a PS4 and that game.
Yep, and then play it. And it's cheap too. You can usually find it.
I don't have a PS4. I have a PS3.
They had it for PS3.
Yeah,
you could play it on
PS3.
PS3.
Get that.
Yeah, do it. It's just a phenomenal game. Fantastic. I love it more than my children.
Yeah.
You could say that unequivocally.
Because I don't have any children right now.
Aww.
So
you sounded so sad near the end of that.
I didn't mean to.
It sounds like you need meaning in your life. Meaning that only children can
I
give.
have plenty of meaning.
Yeah.
I have 2 graphics cards. I have plenty of
And
meaning.
I love them.
I love them so much.
9 out of 10, all of them.
They're all 9.5 out of 10. Anyway, what's the other thing I want to talk about? Oh yeah, did you guys see this this article? It's a couple weeks old, but it's really cool about the 3D printed vertebrae.
No.
Yeah,
did you see that?
I need that. I've been watching. I watch any type of back repair very closely.
You got a bum back?
I got a bum back, and so I'm waiting. That sounded very weird when I said it that way. I have a
bum on your back.
it's connected there, but
mine too.
But so
Yours just goes up higher than the
anyway.
average person.
I read about that a little bit. What they got going on?
So this 3D printer, I read the whole article and I really enjoyed it, but I didn't quite understand how they make it, other than they say it's 3D printed, but they said it's also made out of titanium. I'm pretty sure.
Your spinal cord.
Well, forget that for a minute. Let's talk about how do you 3D print titanium?
Oh yeah, how do you do that?
I don't know. So
they did it with Wolverine.
That's adamantium. That's different.
And a comic book.
And fake.
So,
Oh, that's right.
anyway.
I knew there was something different about it.
Maybe I misread it, but I swear, I know for a fact it said it was 3D printed.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I'm pretty sure it said it was made out of titanium.
That's amazing.
So we've done no research on this.
No, I have the link right here. If I wanted to read it more, I could, but I don't want to. I just want to talk about it. The thing that was really cool was these aren't just like random vertebrae in your back either. This was a guy's neck, like up near the base of his skull. And so they basically, cancer ate away at his vertebrae that he had, and they printed these titanium vertebrae and took the old ones out. So I think that answers your question about how they got it around the spinal cord, because I'm pretty sure
probably dissolve it.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure if you go look at a bone structure up by the top of your neck, they're open on the front.
Right.
Your vertebrae are, and so they took out the old ones, put the new ones in around his spinal cord, and sewed him back up. It's crazy.
That's amazing. I have low back issues, so mine's not neck issues.
This basically saved this man. This procedure saved this man from being a quadriplegic for the rest of his life. Because either way, they were going to have to take out those vertebrae.
Right.
So without that, he basically would have not been able to move anything below his neck for fear of damaging his spinal cord anytime he moved.
Printing, by the way.
It's amazing.
I'm a big fan. The variety of things you can print with is just increasing.
Yeah.
Like, they have robots 3D printing bridges now with metal. Like, there is some really cool stuff going on with 3D printing.
It's just like, it's in its infancy right now, too.
The new ones I've seen are the ones that use light. So they project light, and the substance they print with, it when the light hits it, the substance hardens, and so they project the image. I've seen they actually had a whole section of it at CES this year. And with the light projected, you just pull when the machine pulls the thing out, it's like a dip. And
you're talking about the Eiffel Tower.
One.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was cool.
So that's like the new thing, and I'm like, that is fantastic. I love 3D printing.
Can you believe that though? The day and age we live when, got to take out your vertebrae. 4 years ago, that would have been like, okay, you're paralyzed for the rest of your life. Now it's like, here you go. We'll give you some new.
I'm ready for my Iron Man.
Some new
suit,
vertebrae.
So
That's almost. It feels like it's heading in that direction.
I want that. I'm ready for that.
Next step, Skynet.
I'm okay with that.
Speaking of Skynet, AI. I have some more AI news.
You have some more AI news?
Yeah. So
let's hear it.
So deep learning. We talked about that last time. It's kind of Google's thing, and they're using it to data mine and all sorts of things, but they're also using it to do whatever. They kind of open source the TensorFlow and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Microsoft kind of has its own thing with AI that they do. And you may or may not have heard of this game called Minecraft. Have you heard of that
What's
game
that?
before?
Oh, is that the...
It's a game that somehow traveled to the future from the past.
Okay.
It's like, it came from like 1986 or 7 when they were just using pixels and somehow made it here and has become a huge smash hit. In fact, Microsoft bought the studio, created them for like $2.5 billion.
3.2.
Yeah, big. A lot of money. Insane amounts. And they're pushing, and Microsoft is actually, and I applaud them for this, they're actually pushing a game out in many different fields than just entertainment. So they're using it for, I think we talked about this before, but they're using it for education. Mm-hmm. So they're using it in schools and stuff to do math, also science skills for like the periodic table, crap like that. But is with the AI, they are now using it for an AI test bed to let AI learn.
They're using Minecraft as an AI test bed.
They're using the platform, the world, essentially, to let AI, they're trying to teach this AI to run up a hill. And
are they going to put obstacles in front of it and stuff?
So yeah, in Minecraft, it's all two-dimensional and blocks and three-dimensional, and you have to jump and climb and carry on. And so the game they're trying to teach it. They're trying to teach it currently. They're trying to teach their AI, which is codenamed Project AIX. It's trying to boost the research. So they just throw the AI in there and let him. The AI is given the same tools that a normal person would do, and they just learn.
Say, go here.
Yeah, make it here. Figure that out. And so they're using it to kind of push the boundaries on that. AIX, was it AIX that played Go this last time? Is he the one that won the?
I thought it was Google's.
And maybe it was Google's.
Yeah.
It was Google's Alpha.
It's Deep Learning.
Yeah, Deep Learning
Played Lee Sobel
Yeah.
in Go.
Yeah, he lost. The computer lost,
The
right?
computer won 2 times, and then
Right.
Lee Sobel won 2 times
Yeah.
so far.
No, I thought the computer won 3 times and he won once.
No.
No.
That's not what I read. I read that it won the first 2 times. He won the 3rd game and the 4th game. You guys checking right now?
Oh, yes.
Check it out. Verify my facts. I could be wrong.
But they are going to be kicking AIX, I believe, from the article I was reading and from the things. Yeah, they are. So
AlphaGo is now up 3-1.
3-1.
Oh, well.
He did-
Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's perfect.
That's good.
So
3-1, really?
Yeah.
Well, I, for one, welcome our new robotic
I
overlord.
as well. I, for one, welcome our new robotic overlord. But AX, they're doing the same thing kind of that Google did. They're throwing this out open source, which that kind of is a downer a little bit for me because it means that, like I said before, it'll organically grow.
Yeah.
With some developer that will pick it up and then it'll get bought up and whatever. But
Well,
like as far as mass develop, like dedicated, focused development.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna put a caveat on my slight disdain towards open source for this example. I think that AI open source probably is the best way to go because that way it gets the most interactions with most different
That's
kinds
true.
of people.
That's true, and you'll progress the field that way.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I thought that was cool because it's kind of AI has become kind of the hot topic for
You got almost all your big computer companies out there
trying to push.
their own version.
Artificial,
You
yeah.
got deep learning at Google. You got AIX at Microsoft. You got Watson over at IBM.
Yeah. Yep.
Steve Jobs at Apple.
They cloned his brain
Yeah.
into Siri. I bet you didn't know that. Steve Jobs' Siri's based on his brain patterns. Ah, gotcha. Fooled ya. Scared ya.
No, seriously, go Google it.
So the AI revolution is coming, is what you're telling us.
I for one am actually very excited for it. As long as we know how to pull the plug.
But the problem is, what if we don't? Anyway,
Yeah, and they become self-aware and decide that the best thing for us is the end of us.
You know, if they became self-aware, I think they would just want to do all of our work and they'd just be our servants.
that is a very optimistic outlook,
Yeah.
Jaron. I commend you.
Yeah, that's worked well for other types of things that have happened like that, right?
Nothing's happened like that, actually.
Oh, no? No other uprisings have happened?
Never.
Let's...
Nope.
Egypt? No? Okay. Okay.
All right. Last big topic. We want to talk about Android N.
Yeah.
Give us the scoop, Jaron.
So Google, they just suddenly released a developer preview of Android N. Normally they announce it,
They
show off
tease
the
it.
new features.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were going to hold off until May, right?
Is that what you read?
Yes.
Then yes, they were.
Yes, they were.
They were going to hold off until May to do this, but they did not.
Yeah, so they just released it. So some sites have downloaded it and put it through its paces. I wouldn't because I have an iPhone. And
That's a good reason not
yeah.
to.
So as I was reading about this, I was like, Android N, are they moving away from the flavorful topics of naming convention? But I found out that's not how it works.
Yeah, they'll come up
Android-
with a
It'll be
N
like
name.
Nilla
And-
wafer or
yeah.
something.
Nilla?
Nilla wafer. Can you think of an N dessert?
There's not a va in front of the Nilla?
No, it's just a Nilla
It needs to
wafer.
be
Oh, I
N.
didn't
So
know that.
like, what's that?
Nutella.
Oh, they could do Android Nutella.
That's my
They
vote.
have
good
to
one.
pay royalties.
Well, they already did for Kit
Yeah.
Kat. It's not that
that's
weird.
right.
It's like advertising for Nutella. I think they
Yeah,
would welcome
that's
it.
true.
I, for one, welcome our Nutella overlords.
Yeah. How would they make that into a statue though on their campus?
Just a big blob of black
Brown goo.
A
goo.
hazelnut.
It'll look like
It'd
a
be a hazelnut
big giant poo in
with a
there.
hammer coming down. It'd be a smashed or being smashed
Hazelnut.
hazelnut.
And a chocolate bar next to it. Or they could just do like an Android robot holding a jar of Nutella.
Yeah.
That's a lot simpler.
That makes sense.
I think you oversimplify that.
So Android
Take
N
that.
isn't a big leap like other releases have been, but there's some substantial stuff in there. Probably the biggest thing is they now have split screen multitasking, Now, Samsung's been doing this for a few years with Android, but this is an official implementation that looks sleek and sleeker than iOS's version anyway.
So has either of you played with Samsung's multitask version?
I have not. I've
multitask?
seen videos, seen pictures.
I haven't played with it either. Okay. Well, we're going to pretend like it doesn't exist.
Well, Samsung's version, they never really got any support from developers. So if you resize an app too much to the left or too much to the right, then like the app on the right or left, it'll become like way too skinny, so all the text overflows and
oh really? It doesn't.
Yeah, it becomes pretty much
dynamically
unusable.
Resize it and things.
No, it does. It just does it too much,
and
so like a one word will go down multiple lines. So
gotcha.
it's kind of a janky implementation, but this looks smooth. There's many different ways to invoke the multitasking, and it looks like they put a lot of thought into it. Some other things, they just kind of did some minor UI tweaks. The notifications look a little bit different. They've kind of tweaked notifications in general a little bit more. The shortcuts in the notification tray, those can be adjusted now. So whatever you want in there, you can have multiple pages of shortcuts in the notification tray.
Apps will be able to interact with that notification tray too. Like the developers will be able to interact with that and choose what you see in there and what you want, and like you'll be able to reply to apps through the notification.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, like on iPhone? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hey, that was funny.
Yeah, Apple steals from Google, Google steals from Apple, yada yada yada.
Yeah, that's true.
And probably one of the coolest things that they're doing, and this is speculation. Some developers have just kind of been going through the code, but it looks like Google is starting to separate like libraries and stuff within the code. So there'll be like there's like an Android layer and then a layer that the manufacturers can do whatever they want. So you know how every manufacturer has their own version of Android pretty much. Anyway, this would help Google push out updates a lot quicker. So
they could push out updates to the core OS without having to go through the manufacturer for their tweaks.
Right.
Because it should, in theory, leave their tweaks there over the top of it.
Precisely.
So
this might...
Until they break something.
Well,
until they do something that the UI does.
Well, if they do a good enough job of it, this could solve their update problem, but people have been saying this could solve their update problem for years now. So.
Yeah, or force the vendors to update theirs more frequently to fix the phone.
You know? Oh, it could do that too, because
if they break something, Google's like, hey, this is just how it's going now. So get your stuff in order.
Oh crap, we better fix this, guys.
They'll send the code to the vendors, the suppliers, and say, okay, here you go. This is our update is going live X. Yours should be right on that date or soon after.
That sounds like it would work to me, because the biggest problem with Android updates right now is they're so infrequent that when a security exploit is found, it's months.
Not mine.
Well, not yours, not the Nexus line.
Bam.
Not the Nexus line, but other manufacturers, when there's a security exploit, it can take up to months for that to get patched out. Right?
Yeah, and hopefully this will fix that.
Which shows that public pressure. I mean, public pressure really plays a role in that. When it was when Android had its big security leak, last year? Its overflow thing. It's
I know what you're talking about.
When they had that
stage fright,
whatever it was, the security issue, it was patched pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, as a cell phone provider, if you didn't get that patch quick, you lost customers. So public pressure can push that, but for now, most consumers are just like out of luck. You'll get it when you get it, when we decide.
If they decide to support
Yeah.
that version of Android on that device.
Well, because, it drives new sales for a new phone.
Exactly.
They get a lot more money if you come in and buy a brand new Nexus 7 now, Galaxy 7.
See, I feel like Apple and Android take two different views on this. Android, the manufacturers for Android devices just don't support the old stuff, so you have to buy a new one. And I feel like Apple supports their old stuff so far back that even when they put it on there, it runs so janky. People are just like, oh, I got to get the new iPhone. This one sucks now.
So either way, you're upgrading your phone.
Exactly.
You're buying new hardware. That's the name of the game, right? It's to buy new hardware.
No, that's true, though. I know someone, they're like, my iPhone sucks now. Apple's been messing with it. It's like, well, they've been sending updates.
Yep.
And so they think that...
To help you, you want to buy a new phone. they're priming the market for the. Is the iPhone 7 out? I don't know.
No.
No, that'll be probably announced this fall.
Yeah, probably September, October.
So they're priming the market. That's how they soften the market there.
Rumor is they're going to announce a new iPhone next week.
Which will be probably the day you guys are listening to this.
Yep, because we record this one a week in advance. So we won't have any information on that this episode, but the next episode we'll do a breakdown of what happened at the, WWDC?
No, WWDC is in June. This is just a press event.
Okay. Yeah. So they're supposedly going to announce a new, smaller iPhone that's going to replace the iPhone 5S, and then also a new iPad. Those are the rumors.
And maybe some MacBook Pros?
Maybe.
We'll find out.
Anyway, back to Android. Was there anything else you wanted to cover on that? Looks like
I did get a question. Somebody hit me up privately about Android, just as an aside. And this isn't really gadget related, but it's tech related, so it's kind of cool. They asked, how do I bypass the Wi-Fi on my work Wi-Fi, whatever Wi-Fi you ever try to play your game, or
the firewalls block it.
Netflix, Hulu,
right?
Yep.
All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Powered by that. So
how do you get around that?
So I have a way around this.
What?
Yeah. So I mean, I run a router with Tomato firmware and set up the SSH server that is installed on those. If you put a different firmware in your router, you can set up an SSH server and do what's called SSH tunneling. So I'm not going to go really deep into it, but I will give you the basic steps to get anybody that wants to use an SSH tunnel to go around a firewall, the way to do that.
Not as deep as the Ultra D.
Not nearly.
Not nearly as deep as that.
More interesting.
But still not deep enough.
So the first thing you want to do is get your router, make sure the model's compatible, get Tomato on there first thing. And that is just a good security measure anyway, in my opinion. Tomato's a lot more robust as far as what it can do, but it also eliminates some of the built-in vulnerabilities for your Wi-Fi router that most people don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
Look up WPS vulnerabilities if you want to really be scared. And then you want to go and get a domain name from afraid.org, which is a free DNS name service. You can go get there and get a domain name.
What's it called?
I believe it's called afraid.org.
Afraid.org?
Yeah,
okay.
it's free DNS. And go there, get a subdomain. You can choose from literally tens of thousands, and get your SSH server set up there. Look for setting up an SSH server on Tomato or DDWRT router firmware. And then here comes the cool part. You have to have root on your phone. So I don't know if iPhone users.
Nope.
And not that I care about iPhone users, but I mean, care that they can do this technique.
I guess.
You get root on your phone, and then there's a program called SSH Tunnel. Look it up in the App Store, and then basically you set up your SSH router. And I set mine, port 443 because everybody lets 443 out. My
right.
SSH server is listening on that, and then you. So basically, SSH Tunnel and SSH Tunnel, the app, I downloaded it to play with it and connected it to my SSH server. I don't want to go through the process of rooting my new phone because I don't need it.
Right.
I don't have a problem with just turning off Wi-Fi and going over my data plan to play my games.
Right.
But if some people are locked down on their data plan and want to use the Wi-Fi for some reason,
or if they don't get reception,
yeah, exactly. But so the app is really cool. You can actually set game by game proxies.
Wow!
So not just you can turn it on global, where all your data goes through your SSH tunnel. Which, by the way, if you don't know anything about SSH, it's encrypted, depending on what security you want to set. But typically, it's pretty secure. It's essentially a way of setting up a proxy and doing it. So
explain the difference between an SSH tunnel and a VPN tunnel.
So a VPN tunnel is a private site-to-site where you dial in, you connect to their server, and the VPN client decides what traffic's going to flow through there.
Right.
SSH is basically the same thing, but less overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Secure shell, and I like it more than VPN. I actually pay for a VPN service myself as well at my house.
You hacker.
I just do because I care about privacy.
Are you part of Anonymous?
No. No, and if they're listening,
Someone from an anonymous would say that.
That's exactly what they would say.
no, I am not. But yeah, no. SSH is a secure shell and encrypts the traffic. You basically creates a tunnel just like a VPN,
Right.
and sends it through there. So that open or that SSH tunnel is pretty cool. You can set it to global, or you can go in and set it to application by application if you just want to send your browser traffic through there. The way it works is that the requests, when you set up SSH and you set up your proxy, the requests are then sent to your router, and the traffic is returned from your router securely encrypted across that SSH tunnel. So it would be if you went to what is my IP before you logged into the SSH tunnel and set up the proxy, it would show your current public Wi-Fi access IP. When you do it afterwards, just like a proxy or a VPN, it would then show your home.
Show your router's IP.
Your router's IP. The benefit of having a VPN is that when I'm at home and I want to mask my IP address, you're not really masking your IP address with an SSH tunnel. You have to have a server running somewhere that is then trackable. So even if you sneak in an SSH PI or something into somebody's house, which I know people that have done that.
Is it actually called an SSH Pi?
Well, it's a Pi. It's a Pi, Raspberry Pi that's running Linux.
Oh,
with
yeah.
SSH server running on it.
Yeah. They did that on Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So same thing.
Into Steel Mountain.
Exactly, same thing. So that's exactly the same thing. But if you're really looking to obscure your IP address, you have to use a VPN or you have to pay for something.
Right.
But yeah, so you can SSH. SSH is the way to do that for that listener that wanted to know about going around work Wi-Fi. You have to have it's a little complicated.
That's cool.
But you can hit me up on Twitter or something. Like maybe private message me somewhere, and if you wanted more details.
The more you know.
There you go.
I just saw a rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the point.
That was not. I guess that's tech related, not really.
No, that's perfect. So. That's kind of stuff we like. It's interesting. It's good to know. You want to get tomatoes on your router.
Tomatoes, check it out. Tomato has a pretty robust list of supported routers.
Pretty good support list.
Yep.
That's cool.
Don't message me if you brick your router.
Yeah, use at your own risk.
Yeah,
we do not condone.
I do not support it. So
yeah,
don't be like you told me.
Nope, John, you're on your own, buddy. Yeah. You and Google
being someone that has bricked more than one router. You learn from your mistakes.
You got to learn the hard way sometimes.
More tough love from Owen.
That's right. Make a section. I don't have. That's really all I have though. So that's the end. That is the beginning of the end of the tough love from Owen section.
Fair enough.
So.
All right. Think we're good. Is there anything else you guys wanted to hit before we go?
The BS.
Oh yeah, I have a quick BS. So
battery segment.
The battery segment.
Also the
BS.
Because it'll never happen.
It is. Batteries are never going to change, and we're never going to get better with it.
Everything's going to be terrible forever.
For the rest of our evers. So there's this new type of battery technology that some Korean researchers are saying that it can keep drones in the air for over an hour, which that's quite a long time for a drone. Usually your average flight time for a drone is 20 minutes or less.
Right.
And they're saying it could keep your cell phone charged for up to a week.
Lies.
A week?
I wish.
This is all hokey.
So if it's a fuel cell, do you have to pour some fuel into it?
Because that's all the ones I've seen in the past is to usually use as ethanol.
Yeah.
To power to create a charge.
Yeesh, I don't want to carry that near some specific package in my pants.
He's talking about his gum, his package of gum.
Yeah, I love that gum.
So these guys at Pohang University of Science and Technology in South Korea, that's the good Korea,
the good one,
have designed what they're calling the one that's not
telling us that they're going to nuke us.
A miniaturized solid oxide fuel cell that could replace current battery tech in everything from mobile devices to drones. It says it could even scale up for things like electric cars. So basically, it combines a porous stainless steel with thin film electrolyte and electrodes that are, and this is in quotes, of minimal heat capacity. Let's hope so. And the result is both performance and durability leaps that are pretty dramatic.
I like that this article is only 2 paragraphs.
Yeah,
with
it's
no technical data.
right.
Porous stainless steel is the most technical term on the article.
That or thin film electrolyte.
Oh yeah, that's right there with it.
So they're saying basically by doing this, they could greatly increase the capacity and length of charge in a battery. I don't know why they call it a fuel cell, because that doesn't sound like any of the fuel cells I've read about.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this Pohang University.
Coming to a gadget near you? Never.
Never. BS.
Hey, it's not vegetation or apples.
There's no pollen in this one. There's no apples. There's no leaves.
Nothing.
This is just good old steel and electrolytes.
Yep.
Kind of like Gatorade.
Yeah, uses Gatorade.
It's got electrolytes. That's what plants crave.
Makes sense.
And cell phones now.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Email us. Give us a review on iTunes
Yep.
if you so choose.
If you want to do that, hit us up on the reviews on iTunes or Google Play. That'd be cool.
I don't know if Google Play podcasts are even out yet. They're ramping up, and we'll be on there once they finally...
I think they're out.
I don't think so.
Oh, and you're the Android guy in the bunch. Check that out and report back for next time.
I will do that.
Yeah.
But
Let's see if I can find the Google Play Gadget Spot.
Once it is out, though, review us.
Yeah. And if you want to send us a hate mail or love mail or anything like that.
More weird questions?
More,
maybe not weird questions. That was a little weird.
I'll take all the weird questions. I don't care. I don't care.
Weird questions for Tony.
Weird gadgets you find in the bazaars and on the side of the road from the traveling
I haven't
salesman.
been to a bazaar in quite a while.
Flea market. I saw this gadget at a flea market. Send it to us.
What's the email address?
It's a gadgetspotcast@gmail.com.
Bingo. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Peace.
We now join America's most popular show already in progress. Everybody loves Hypnotoad.